Hello guys, I'm Raj and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm back again with a new video. So in this video we will talk about parameter passing in functions. Parameter passing is I think the most essential part of functions. Whenever we define a function, we need to pass, or we have to pass some of the parameters to in order to perform some operations, and then we will either return or not return it. But the passing of the parameters is on its own a huge concept to be known and can be used effectively in order to perform our task easily. So today I have a small example with me. So first of all, I will start with actual and formal parameters. So I will tell you about what does it mean about actual and what is formal. So I have a small example here. So I will calculate the sum of two numbers. So num1 and num2 are my two variables or the two parameters that I am going to pass. I will calculate the sum and then I will return the sum. And I will as I have defined this function, I will call this function somewhere in my code. So I have called this function and I will pass 12 and 13 as the two numbers that I want the sum, for which I want the sum. So here this 12 and 13 are nothing but my actual parameters. So these are the actual values that I am going to send to the function, and this the parameters that I can see in the function declaration, this num1 and num2 are nothing but your formal parameters. So these are the standard definition of what actual and formal parameters does or it is. So I will go forward towards the ways we can pass the parameters from from the function call to the actual function. So there Python provides us with 3-4 types of parameter passing ways. So I will try to quickly wrap that thing. So first is positional arguments. So positional arguments is nothing but yours the by default or the easiest way of passing the parameters. So this example is nothing but your positional argument example. So here you have to you are defining an order of the parameters that has to be passed in the function declaration, and in the same order you have to follow whenever you are calling the function and you are passing the actual parameters. So here 12 will be assigned to num1, the num1 will contain the value of 12, num2 will contain the value of 13. So here order is very important, the position of the parameters is very important. So that's how the positional argument works. So this is the basic way of passing the parameters. So now moving forward towards keyword arguments. So this is very important. Keyword, as the name suggests, keyword means we are identifying the parameters with the word or the name of the parameter. So here we can it doesn't matter in which order we pass the parameter, but the parameters of the names of the parameter of actual and formal parameters should be same. So when we have the same names as in the both actual and formal parameters, we can we can map those values, and when we map those values, then we don't care about the order. So I will give you a small example for that. Let's say I have a function in which I will calculate the sum of two variables num1 and num2, and I return the sum num1 plus num2. So this is very basic example. So but if I want to use the keyword arguments, then I can write something like num1 equals to 34 comma num2 equals to, let's say, 30 only. So here I am passing num1 equals to 34 and num2 equals to 30. So this is the way we can define or we can send the keyword, we can use the keyword arguments way. So here I will write the same name as the name of the parameters in the formal parameters. So num1 equals to 34 and num2 equals 30. So essentially what we will do is we can check what is the value of num1 and num2. So here I will get 34, 30 and 64, 34 and 30, because I have passed num1 is equals to 34 and num2 equals to 30. But let's say I change the order, and then we can see what happens. 34 and let's say num2 equals 30. So here I have changed the order in the reverse. I have started with num2 equals 30 and num1 equals 34. then let's see what happened. So here, like, it is the giving the same output, because here we are matching for the names of formal parameters and actual parameters. So here num1 will always be 34, because num1 here this num1 and this num1 will be mapped by the names, and you will get the same output as before. So this was keyword arguments. So next up we have default arguments. So default arguments are nothing but, let's say you are having a function in which will be passing some values, but let's say it doesn't the user doesn't want to doesn't have the values of some of the parameters. So then at that time we have to take some by default value. So this default arguments helps us to get helps us to keep the by default values for some of the parameters of the function. So let's say I take a small example of calculating the area of the circle, right? So the how do we find the area of circle, which is nothing but pi r square. So here the value of pi is a constant, right? But let's say, we have to take certain precision value of pi. Let's say I want to just remember the value of pi to only just 2 precision point, that is 3.14. But let's say I'm inputting that value from the user. So user can define how much precision or value of pi he or she wants. So we can take it as an input, but if the user does not give any input, then I will restrict the value of pi to just 2 precision points. So let's say I define the function area. So I will get the radius and the value of pi. But so then if I want to declare pi as a default variable, then I will mention the value of pi in the function declaration only. But just we have to remember that the default argument will be at the end, so will always start at the end. So whatever the default variables or default arguments we have to always keep it at the end of this parameter list. So we cannot write the default arguments in the front and the rest of the arguments in the back. Like, it's always have to be at the end. So since I have defined the value of pi is equals to 3.14, I can print a radius and pi. Let's say I call this function and I pass the radius as pi and the value of pi as 3.145. It's just an example. So I will get pi and 3.14 pi 145. Let's say I don't pass the value of pi upfront, so I just pass the radius. Then what will happen? It will take the default value, which is 3.14, as the value of pi. So that's the advantage of using default arguments. So default arguments are like, it's not just a concept in Python, it is a concept in most of the programming languages. We have default values for parameters which the user does not pass. So next up we have variable length arguments. So in the previous concepts we saw that we have a certain number of arguments defined in the function declaration, and we pass only those number of parameters. But let's say it is not like we don't have any jurisdiction of we don't have any count of how many values the user will pass into the system. So at that time we will use this variable length arguments way of taking multiple inputs as like passing the multiple parameters. So let's say we are calculating the sum only, but we will take like n number of values. So it can be 1, it can be 2, or it can be even like 100 values, right? So at that time we have to find out a way in order to pass those n number of values to the function. So let's say so in this way we will use this variable in argument. So here there is one short adjustment that we have to make in the Python function declaration. So here I will write star args. So args is just like a label. You can have any name here. Like, let's say I can write even here nums. So star, but his star nums is like the star keyword is or the star token is very important. So it essentially tells that we are expecting a tuple. So tuple is a concept that I have already mentioned in my previous video. So you can watch my previous videos to know more about tuple. So here I will receive a tuple, and then I can access the tuple using the for loop. So for I in nums, and then I will print the value of I, whatever the values that I have passed. So here, so I will call this function, and I will pass 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 5, so which are 4 values. So then I will get the output as 1 2 3 5. Let's say I change the number of outputs, so let's say I add some more values, so it will act accordingly. So here I can pass any like number of arguments that I want using this variable length argument system. So here you can have a hybrid kind of a thing as well. So here you can pass a normal argument as well. So let's say I use a normal argument as f, and so here the order becomes important. So let's say my normal argument is Raj, and after that I pass a certain number of values. So either f will be matched with the Raj, and the nums will be matched with the rest of the arguments that I pass. So if I print f, and like if I run this code, so I will get Raj, and then whatever the like n number of values or the arguments that I have passed. So last topic of this video is keyword variable arguments. So it is the hybrid combination of keyword arguments and variable length arguments. So here if it is an intuitively, we can think that we are passing a variable number of arguments, a variable length of arguments with using the keyword concept. So here we will pass n number of arguments, but we will define the name of the argument and the value, like we do in the keyword arguments section, or keyword arguments way. So here I will again make a small adjustment in the way we declare the function. So here I will have double star, then whatever the name of the argument, that's the name of the arguments that we want. So I have taken arg, so you can take numbers or values, whatever you want as a name, but make sure you have double star in the front, then we have the name. And then we will whenever we call the function, we will pass in the certain way, like we will have the variable name, then equals, then whatever the value it has, then in a comma separated way, c equals to, let's say, 50. So essentially what this will do is, this star nums is nothing but it will pass it as a dictionary. So here a equals to 10, b equals to 30, and c equals 30 will be nothing but it will be converted internally to a dictionary, and it will send as a it will be sent as a dictionary to this function. So I can if I have a dictionary, then it is very easy to access any dictionary at any point of time. So I will write nums. So this will again, for I in nums will be accessing the key values from the dictionary, and then if I want to access the values of the key, I will write nums I. So I will get the key and value pairs using this way. So you can even use the dot items method of the dictionary. So you will get then I have to write I comma j, so I will be accessing the key value pairs. So again, it is giving me the same output. So you can use any of the way for accessing the dictionary, but you have to just make sure that if you are using the keyword variable argument, then you will get a dictionary, and if you are using the variable length argument, then you will get a tuple. So that's it in this video. I hope you like this video. If you haven't subscribed this channel, please subscribe it. Take care of your health. We'll meet next time. That's all from this video. Goodbye.